Are the unborn human? And does the Bible condemn abortion? And does being pro choice mean you're pro abortion? You'll get answers today on The Mark Harrington Show. Friends, thanks for joining me. My name is Mark Harrington, and you're listening to Activist Radio. And you can pick up the program 24/7 on all the popular podcasting platforms. And you can follow me on social media. And you can also help promote the program by liking the show and sharing it and leaving a review on the websites. That's how we get more people involved in fighting abortion. So today we're going to be talking about the hot topic this year in the election cycle, and that is abortion, at least from the Democrat side, because Joe Biden's on his abortion tour, as I've mentioned. And so all over social media, you got people chiming in on the topic. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to play some clips. These are mostly from TikTok. We do this on a regular basis here on the program. Pro-abortion activists or pro-aborts of TikTok. And so the first clip we're going to play, and I'll comment, is from the MSNBC, or what Mark Levin famously calls MSLSD, MSLSD. And this is Joy Reid. I honestly, I can't take it. I don't listen or watch her at all. But she does have someone on who is pro-life, and she asks her questions about abortion. Go ahead and play this clip.
Over 90% of scientists agree that immediately at conception there is a human life. There is the genus and the species.
No, I don't think over 90% of scientists believe that. And by the way,
it's a human life.
Well, historically,
okay, stop there. All right, 90% of scientists say life begins at conception. That's what the pro-life advocate says, and that is true. But really, does it matter if the scientists say? This is what we call an appeal to authority, logical fallacy. Now, it's good to have, strong witnesses for your case and information, data, and people that'll stand behind and give testimony like scientists, of course. But let's just say, for the sake of argument, that 90% of the scientists say it's okay to gas Jews. I mean, does that make it okay? No, it doesn't. And so it is with this. We do know that science proves that life begins at conception. We do know that it's the left, the abortion advocates, who are the science deniers when it comes to the abortion question. So it's a legitimate case to make that most scientists, most embryologists, most biologists agree life begins at conception. But in and of itself, that is not the only reason why we should oppose abortion. All right, continue on.
Even in the colonial era, even the earliest eras of this country, until the quickening, until a woman could feel a child inside of her, most even religious people, most people in the colonial era, abortion was not illegal until the quickening. And so that is what the Roe standard was. But my question is really...
Okay, stop there. Quickening was not the Roe standard. She's got it wrong. Joy Reid needs to do a little bit of work on her defense for pro-abortion. The Roe standard was viability. Basically, the U.S. Supreme Court said that Roe versus Wade allowed for abortion through the first and second trimester of pregnancy, and Doe v. Bolton allowed abortion up until the point of viability, and then the states could regulate abortion beyond that. So she's just flat out wrong. Quickening was never a standard in the Roe v. Wade case. Go ahead and continue on.
Important for people to understand where people who are on your ideological side are coming from. Yeah. Do you want abortion to be illegal in the entire country? Because that is going against the views of the vast majority. I would say more than 70 to 80% of Americans don't want that.
Okay, stop there. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, that 70 to 80% of American people do support abortion, which isn't correct. Right now, it's about 60% say abortion should be legal in the first trimester only, and the numbers go down from there. But let's just say, for the sake of argument, that 7 out of 10 or 8 out of 10 Americans say abortion should be legal in all months of pregnancy or whatever. Does that make it right? No. It's like saying if 70% of Americans thought that we should be able to lynch black people, or that rape should be legal, or bank robbery. I mean, go down the line to every moral issue, and if we just put it up for a vote, that does not determine whether something's right or wrong. It's either objectively wrong or it's not. And so it's not about a poll. It's not about, that's why democracy, just in the purest sense, is not something we want, because that's just mob rule. We do have something called the rule of law. It's based on what? The law of God mainly. And that's where our founders look to. So the idea that if you can come up with a consensus on something that makes it morally permissible is just incorrect. So, all right, continue on.
Well, scientifically, immediately conception, all of the DNA is separate. It's two separate bodies. There's
True.
no DNA from the mother that is in the
But
child.
do you want
This
abortion to be illegal?
I believe in human rights. Over
She needs
90%
to answer the
of
question. Well, she needs to answer the question if she wants. Do you want abortion to be illegal or not? I mean, she just needs to answer the question. And here's how you answer it. Basically, you use what we call the pro-life syllogism. It goes like this: killing an innocent person is always wrong. That's number one. Number two, abortion kills an innocent person. Number three, which follows from the other two, is that abortion is morally wrong. So that is the pro-life syllogism. So if you can prove that abortion kills an innocent person, then abortion's wrong, and it's morally wrong, and it should be illegal, period. But there's the assumption here on pro-abortion advocates, on the side of the pro-abortion advocate, that the unborn are human. That's the assumption. And when people say, oh, you want it to be illegal, they make it sound like you're going to make something illegal that is not a moral question. It's just a preference. And that's where the mistake is made. All right, so that's Joy Reid on MSLSD or MSNBC. Let's move on. Again, these are pro-aborts of TikTok. Again, during this election season where abortion is going to be a hot topic, we need to know how to answer these questions. Go ahead and play the next clip.
Pro-choice is not being pro-abortion.
That's right.
I think that's a very important distinction. Being pro-choice is allowing them to make their choices. And if, let's say, your friend comes to you and she says, I want to do this, don't try to tell her that's the wrong decision or anything. Just be there for her, support her. If you can, if you guys are close enough, maybe accompany her to the clinic. You never know what's going on in her life.
So here's the common argument that being pro-choice is not being pro-abortion. First of all, I'd ask the question, well, why not? I mean, if abortion is morally neutral, that it's just like choosing ice cream or some other preference, then what does it matter if you're for it or not? It kind of begs the question, and that is that even pro-choice people understand there's something not right about abortion, because otherwise they would say, I'm for it. Because they know it's something wrong about it that they don't like, and most people don't, that they have to say, I'm pro-choice. That doesn't mean I'm pro-abortion. So it's inherent in their argument. They are tacitly giving us that, the understanding at least, that there's something wrong with abortion. Because if there's nothing wrong with it, then everybody should have as many as they want, when they want, without any limitations, and you should be for it 100%. So that's number one. Number two, being pro-choice, they say, is just removing the protections and allowing women to decide. Let's just put that in the category of another issue. Let's say rape. Let's say, I'm pro-choice on rape. How does that sound? Basically, when you say you're pro-choice, that means you want the government out of it. You want to take the legal limitations out of it and allow people to decide. Well, I mean, anybody that says they're pro-choice on rape will be laughed out of the room. They would say, you're crazy. You shouldn't be allowed to walk the streets, for that matter, because we understand that rape is morally wrong. You can't be pro-choice on rape. And removing the limitations and protections, legal protections, that protect people against rape is not neutral. It's pro-rape, not pro-choice. And so it is with a lot of other things. If we said we're pro-choice on, toddlers being killed for fun, nobody would say that's a logical position to take. Because we understand that killing toddlers for fun is wrong, we can't be pro-choice. You can't take the restrictions off of something that is morally wrong and say that you're not for it. So pro-choice is pro-abortion, and we ought to force pro-abortion advocates to say it because that's really what they believe. All right, next clip. This is about making abortion safe and legal and how it should remain so. Go ahead.
If a woman is desperate and needs to get an abortion, she will find a way to do it. And this is likely going to push certain women, typically women who are living in poverty, who are particularly desperate in situations like this, to go through avenues that are much less safe, that put their lives at risk, meaning that more people will die as a result of the so-called pro-life advocates out there. In reality, they're not pro-life at all. There are now endless stories, a steady drip of stories involving children dying as a result of various companies exploiting them while breaking child labor laws, by the way. I mean, you're hearing stories about children getting injured at meat packing plants. I don't hear.
We can stop it there. She goes off on a tangent here. Okay, this is the old worn-out slogan by the pro-abortion people that abortion needs to be safe and legal. Because if you don't make it legal, people will do it unsafe. They'll do it unsafely, right? And again, it's assuming that there's nothing wrong with abortion, that it's not morally wrong. It's assuming that it's no big deal and that people should just be able to choose and there should be no limitations on it. It begs again, we have to get back to the foundation. Is abortion morally wrong? The syllogism. All killing of an innocent person is wrong. Abortion kills an innocent person, therefore abortion is wrong. We have to prove that syllogism. If we can prove that the unborn are human and abortion kills the unborn, then it's morally wrong and it should be against the law. And we shouldn't make it safe for people to do it, right? That's the way we treat everything else. We don't make it safe to rob banks. We don't make it safe for the bank robber to rob banks. We don't make it safe for the rapist to rape women because we have, as a society, we have understood that this is morally wrong. And if it puts people out and they have to cross borders and they do it unsafe, so be it. Too bad. That's on them. If they're going to do it, there should be criminal penalties if they do. So anyway, that's again, the question is abortion wrong? And if it is, none of the arguments for abortion make any sense. All right, next clip. Again, pro-aborts of TikTok. Continue on.
Well, let's bear in mind that what I'm about to say is a teaching created by men. They do not have wives, they do not have daughters.
Great start.
Right.
Yeah. And the Catholic Church teaches that in almost every circumstance, abortion is murder.
Is it in the Bible?
No.
Is it in the Bible? No. Well, okay, the words abortion, I'll grant them that, are not found in the Bible. The words are not there. Understood. And why is that? Because abortion is a contemporary thing. It's more or less in our modern day, the type of ways that we kill children. We call it abortion. But here's the issue. In the 6th commandment, it says, thou shalt not shed innocent blood. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not murder. Thou shalt not shed innocent blood. That prohibition applies when we're killing human beings. All we have to do for that commandment to apply is to prove that the unborn are human, period. If we can do that, then the Bible condemns abortion no matter what anyone says. Even Bill Clinton said you can't find a word abortion in the Bible. It's true. Do you have to? The Bible doesn't address everything specifically to our contemporary experience, but it lays the foundations. Murder is wrong. It's one of the top 10, the 10 commandments. Shedding of innocent blood. We can prove the unborn are human. Then the Bible condemns abortion. All right, next question, or next pro-aborts of TikTok. Again, talking about abortion all over social media. This is Kristen Hawkins, one of my colleagues in the pro-life movement at Students for Life of America. She does a great job in doing this very thing and forcing pro-abortion advocates to answer the question, are you pro-abortion? Go ahead and play this clip.
Abortion. So are you pro-legal abortion or are you anti-legal abortion?
I'm pro-legal abortion.
So you're pro-abortion.
That doesn't mean I'm going to run around and say everybody should have an abortion.
No, I
Why
say
not?
that. But you are okay with abortion existing, happening in the United States of America.
Yes.
So you're pro-abortion.
I think you're twisting my words.
No, I think the reason you don't want to accept that phrase is because saying you're pro-abortion doesn't sound so great.
I mean, I can certainly stand up here and say I'm pro-abortion, but you're just trying to twist my words.
Okay, so you admit you're pro-abortion.
I am pro-abortion.
Okay, thank you.
I am pro-safe legal abortion.
Yep, you're pro-abortion.
Yep.
Yep. Okay, great.
I mean, Kristen does a great job here. We got to hold people accountable to what they say. She didn't want to admit, this student didn't want to admit that she's pro-abortion, but she is. Again, if you're pro-choice, that means taking the limitations, restrictions off abortion altogether, which means that you're okay with it happening, which means you're for it. And again, the idea that this student was uncomfortable even talking in these terms tells you something, that most people understand there's something wrong with abortion. And I would submit to you, most, if not everyone, knows it's wrong. And they do these, rhetorical gymnastics to try to avoid the topic directly. And Kristen does a great job in keeping this person accountable. We know it kills. She knows it kills. This student knows it kills a baby. And she didn't want to say that she was pro-abortion because she knows that does not fly very well amongst her colleagues there in the university level. All right, let's go to the next clip.
What about the baby's choice? How do you respond to that?
The baby isn't a human being until it's born. So it doesn't have any right to make a decision. And if my life is at stake, that's more important.
This is hilarious because nobody believes this, really. I don't think this woman really believes that. Listen, we have so much evidence now with ultrasound technology and all the medical advances. Anybody that's had a baby, anybody that has looked at an ultrasound picture or video and understands this is human life. We understand it's human life. It's a baby. The law of biogenesis basically says this, that life arises from other life. In other words, humans give birth to other humans. It's human life. We know it's human life. She says that it isn't, but she's just in denial. That's all it is. Because you have, as a pro-abortion activist, you have to hold that these are not humans and that they're not alive. Otherwise, you're killing them. And they can't go there. They should. In fact, they should just be honest and say it's life, but it's okay to kill it. That's the position they should try to take if they want to justify it. But they do these type of mental gymnastics to make it sound like that we don't know that it's human life. We all do it. We all know it is. And therefore, abortion is wrong if we take that human life. We all know it kills, and we can't just let the people decide the issue. So those are some of the selected clips that I've taken from TikTok, the Pro-Aborts of TikTok. Here, this election cycle, we're going to be hearing a lot about abortion. Folks, hopefully this has been helpful to you as you run into people that are talking about this, because this is going to be one of the top campaign issues in 2024 for president. Okay, friends, here's your call to action today. We got two things. First is the Justice Ride. That is our annual trip to college campuses in the southern part of the country, where we load up young people, take them on a charter bus on the road, teaching them pro-life apologetics, and then taking them out and then letting them use it on college campuses with people that disagree with them. This is our premier project for training and outreach. I submit to you that there's nothing better in the entire country if you want to train your young person how to debate abortion, because we believe that people learn on the ground. They learn in a practical environment. It's important to have classroom teachings, but it's more important to actually use what you learn. So the Justice Ride will begin on March 1st. It'll go through March 1 through 11. If you have a young person that's interested, please let us know. Go to createdequal.org. Or you can donate to us, again, by going to createdequal.org and help out with the Justice Ride. Coming up soon, I'll be talking more about our Day of Action. We've got several of those happening in the Midwest. And similar to the Justice Ride, it's an opportunity for people to come in, learn some pro-life apologetics, and then be able to apply it to practical situations in front of people that disagree. And we'll be launching that project here soon. You'll be hearing more in the coming weeks and months ahead. You've been listening to The Mark Harrington Show. God bless you. God bless America. And remember, America, to bless God.
You've been listening to Mark Harrington, your radio activist. For more information on how to make a difference for the cause of life, liberty, and justice, go to createdequal.org. To follow Mark, go to markharringtonshow.com. Be sure to tune in next time for your marching orders in the culture war.